My name's Eddie. I've been playing poker for about a year, just long enough to know how little I actually know. I'm here to learn fast or burn chips trying.
And I'm Ryan. I'm a professional poker dealer who's been playing the game for over 20 years. I've seen every type of player, from stone cold killers to total disasters. And now I'm putting Eddie to the test.
In my quest to level up, Ryan's going to throw every style at me. The tag, the lag, the maniac, the whale, and more. Each episode will run 5 hands and break down the strategy, player types, position, and mindset behind every move.
This isn't just poker. This is a battlefield of brains and bluffs.
So join us for the Tilt Factor. Queen 10 here, clubs. All right, so it's me to call. And just so we're clear, it's 1-2 game, but our producer accidentally had it on 1-3. So for the following hands, you'll see 1-3, but it was actually 1-2. All right, so
in this specific spot, you're the under the gun position. Looks like you raised to...
I raised to 8.
8, 4x, which I like that. You know, suited Broadway cards, and I like splashing a little bit. I don't like limping. I'm either opening or I'm calling a raise.
So
or re-raising, pre-flop.
But no limp calling?
No, it's very amateur, very passive. The only time I can really see that being an okay strategy is if you're at a very aggressive table. There's a lot of 3-betting and 4-betting happening pre-flop. Limping is okay in that strategy because more often than not, you're going to get re-raised.
You would advise against limp calling most of the time unless you're at a game that's a little bit more aggressive and you got some players who you know are going to be re-raising.
It's got to be a hyper-aggressive game for me to be limping.
Limp calling, gotcha.
Being first action limping. It's all about gaining information. I want to gain as much information as I can. So if you get a couple of limpers before you and you have this specific type of a hand, like suited connectors, these are kind of like Broadway suited connectors, I want to find out if somebody is potentially looking to like limp raise me.
Right.
So I want to find that out right now. I don't want to limp and then I have zero information about the strength of their hand, right? They could be doing that with aces, or they could be doing that with, Jack 4 because that's their lucky hand.
Right.
So gain the information as much as you can. And if you do get re-raised depending on the sizing, you can call or you can just let the hand go. But you got the information rather than getting trapped by just calling. I like the open. You try to gain some information here. And it looks like you got 2 callers. So let's keep the action rolling.
All right, here we go. Coming to a flop. King, 6, 10.
Now you got the fish on the button.
The whale checks.
Yeah, whale's early position. Now with that type of persona of a whale, they've got a lot of money and they always want to see action. They're not there to fold. And they've got the money to be able to play a lot of hands and rebuy and reload and stack up. So they're more prone to just calling pre-flop and letting go if they don't connect.
Interesting. So in this scenario here, he connected with bottom pair.
Yeah.
You don't think he would have let out there?
No. I mean, it's going to range a little bit with whale personas. Some will, but because you were the pre-flop raiser,
I see.
And
he's not an idiot.
He's putting you probably on hitting that, obviously, more likely than not.
Right.
So I think they're going to gauge your information, and they play their hands pretty much kind of face value. So they're always kind of looking to connect to the board rather than go so much on instinct, which is more of like the maniac's persona, which is they're going to go based on feel and scare cards that come out. The whales is comparing their whole cards to the flop, to the board, to see if they connect in any way, shape, or form. And sometimes if they connect, even in the lightest sense, like right here with just bottom pair,
right,
they may peel off one more just to see if they can catch another 6, get turn trips or hit 2 pair or
right,
pick up some kind of a back door. The second it gets more expensive, typically that's when they'll kind of fade out if they don't hit by the turn.
All right, so whale checks here.
Now you have the fish behind you. So you throw out a feeler bet, $10, right? So it's like third pot, which is good. And you get 1 caller. Fish goes away because obviously it didn't connect. And the fish persona plays a multitude of hands. So just any 2 hands, any 2 cards typically. So suited cards, they're almost always playing. It doesn't matter. It could be queen 2 suited, or it could be 7, 6 suited. They're going to play anything for cheap. And sometimes even for above a range of raise that they ever should.
Right.
Just because they also like to get involved too, but they're easily thrown off on hands. So you can push them off relatively easily. So
okay,
he didn't connect queen. So fish went away. You got one caller. So you got the caller right now, which is the whale.
Okay,
bottom pair.
Let's see where we go.
Turn card comes 8.
Two pair.
Yeah. So this is exactly what I was talking about, which is they're going to want to try to peel one off. So
now now my bet sizing there wasn't so much that it was big enough to kick him out of that pot necessarily.
And that's okay, because it's about information. And honestly, you had middle pair too, so it's not like you.
Right.
Pot still was relatively small at the time, so there's only $30 in the middle. So I don't think you need.
Third pot was okay.
Yeah, third pot's okay. It's the last thing you want to do is get check raised,
okay.
and you've overbet. You've overbet your hand. So if you bet like 3/4 pot or full pot there, and next thing you know, you get check raised to 120. What are you gonna do? You're gonna lay it down.
Yeah.
You're gonna lay the hand down. So like I said, every street is about gaining information when you're playing. So raising pre-flop to figure out who's got a sizable hand, anything worth playing for that amount of money, or if you get re-raised, you're finding out even more information there. Throwing out a teaser bet, continuation bet, a C bet on the flop of $10. It's not committing yourself, but it's finding out who connects. You'd be surprised on how often people will fold for third bet pots. A lot of players play very face value, so if they don't connect on the flop, they're letting it go.
Okay, so Whale catches the second pair on the turn here and checks it to me.
He checks it. So right now, pot size prior to you betting $25. You got, it was approximately what, $50?
Correct.
Yeah. So you're betting half pot now, which I don't hate the sizing. I think the sizing is good because it's a little bit stronger. Now, in this situation, I'd even be okay with a stronger bet on this flop.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like something. I think you'd be okay with even like $40.
Interesting.
Because you're trying to find out if he's got a weak king or if he's got a diamond draw. Those would be hands where I'd see him check calling your flop bet.
Okay.
But not check raising you on the flop with. You know what I'm saying? Because
on the flop or the turn?
I'm talking specifically just on the flop.
Just on the flop.
When you bet $10, if he had a strong king, either would have re-raised you pre-flop and re-raised your $8, or he would have check-raised you on the flop.
Gotcha.
With a strong king. But since he did neither of those things, it leads me to believe that he's on a diamond draw. He's got a queen jack, so he's open-ended straight draw, or maybe possibly even a set. So because he didn't check raise you on the flop, so turn card comes, diamonds didn't get there, so he didn't make flush if he did have a diamond draw. Straight draw didn't get there.
Right.
And he's still sitting with a weak king, so at which point I'd want to make it expensive for him to try to connect.
To chase the draw.
To chase the draw.
Yeah.
To chase the draw, or to let him relinquish and just get rid of that weak king.
Gotcha.
So
a little bit more would have been appropriate there, like 40, you say.
And this is kind of, game theory style of play where you're betting 25% of pot on the flop, and then as long as the turn card isn't really scary, it doesn't connect to make a flush or a 4-card straight, a one-liner straight, they're typically betting like 3/4 of pot or almost even pot.
Okay.
Because that way, at that point, only one more card to come. More often than not, players are going to ditch their draws because they don't have the odds for it.
But it's not it's within the realm of reasonability that the whale would check both flop and turn here, even with two pair, even nailing the two pair on the turn.
Yeah, I think with the intent, I mean, they're open to check raising too.
Yeah.
So because he hit the miracle card, sometimes they'll lead out. Right. Sometimes they'll check with the possibility of raising. So you bet half pot for 25.
Yep.
Comes back to whale.
Let's see what he's gonna do here.
Right.
He's gonna raise.
Whale character raises and makes it 80. So at this point, you need to kind of analyze what's going on with your hand to think, what did I just get myself into?
And I called it no problem.
Now you snap called him no problem.
Fast.
It could have been anything.
And I happened to get there.
You, as we can see right now, you did end up catching two pair. But what you really should be thinking is, what is he check raising me with on the turn?
Right.
Did he flop two pair and he played it really slow? Did that turn card give him 2 pair, did he maybe call me with like 9-7
7-9,
of diamonds?
Yes, and looking for the draw.
Or maybe he just peeled off for $10 that 7-9, hoping to catch the gut shot and did. In which case, are you calling drawing dead?
Right.
So, this specific instance, you end up getting bailed out.
Yes, correct, exactly. I got bailed out by the river.
But in most cases, I would say when you get check raised on that turn and he's 3x raising you.
Especially when I'm only, with
middle pair. Middle pair, yeah, regardless of kicker, middle pair, just ditch it.
Get rid of it.
Move on.
Gotcha.
Move on to the next hand.
Okay. All right, good lesson. Yeah, I happened to get there, but you're absolutely right. Like, it's funny watching me back on these hands, it like gives me a little bit of I see myself call and I'm like, why am I doing that? All right, so the next hand.
10-9 of diamonds on the small blind. Love suited connectors. They're fun to play. Position can kind of be tricky, especially from the small blind.
Maniac raises to 15 with 5-4 of diamonds. Elliot calls. The fish calls with queen 9. Whale 3 bets to 50.
Based on positions, right, and seeing where we're at with things, you got the $15 open. Whale 3 betting to 50. Now, regardless of the whale having a lot of money, and they're still typically a relatively smart player. So if they're 3 betting a hand pre-flop, you got to figure it's in that top tier of
Aces,
premiums.
King, queens, ace, king.
Yeah, ace, king, ace, queen. That's going to be pretty much the range.
Gotcha.
I think even 10s and above.
Would they? I was just going to ask. Would they do that with jacks and
10s and above,
okay.
and then just big suited connectors.
Gotcha.
They're probably not doing it with queen jack or anything like that. Keeping that in mind, you got to think about what you really want to hit if you are calling that bet, especially from your position. Now, depending on how good of a read you have or how well you're kind of running for the day, like looking at calling from the small blind $50, how deep you are too.
Right.
Like if your stack you're sitting like 1,500 effective relative to the other stacks that may be right around $400, $600, you have 3x covered. I don't mind it because you kind of have polarized what their hand range is.
Right.
And if you connect, then you can pay. You get paid, especially if you're playing with profit too. But if you're sitting short, calling 50 off with that hand from that
in that position is crazy.
Yeah, if you're sitting with $400, it's too much of your stack to gamble.
Yeah.
From that position, because you're going in very vulnerable, being the first to act. On every street.
Oh, I called. Okay.
Yeah, and you'll notice, I believe the tag player, Logan, with ace queen off calls. Now, so ace queen calling right there, keeping in mind that type of person, right, that tight aggressive person calling 50 from the big blind should set off like alarms in your head. Yeah, because tight aggressive means that they're playing premiums, but they're also tight with the money that they're actually putting into the pot. So if they're putting money into a pot, it means more often than not that they've got it. And when they do connect, they're gonna be betting stronger than normal. They're gonna be betting like 3/4 of the pot kind of situation in most cases. They're wanting to take down and they're wanting to isolate things. Now, because he saw a raise from the whale, you called that position, especially in cash game. He's not re-raising ace queen from the big blind.
Okay.
He'd rather go to a flop and see how he connects. This is not tournament style, so he's not gonna re-raise and make it 150 or anything of that range.
Okay.
Just because of position. I think if the tag player
was
on the button, he might re-raise that ace queen to 125 or 150.
Gotcha.
And isolate it heads up with the whale.
Gotcha. In position, he
would probably isolate that play style, that tight aggressive play style would re-raise that. Late position, the cutoff, or on the button. The whale, you kind of have an idea of what he's re-raising with pre-flop. You're never really worried about the maniac because he can have any combination of 2 cards. He's opening for 15 almost every other hand.
Gotcha.
So the maniac loves action, loves to keep you kind of blind.
Even with hands like 5-4 suited.
Yeah, 100%.
Gotcha.
So the alarms are coming off on the whale that's re-raising, so you know they're premium.
Right.
You just don't know, is it a high pocket or is it high Broadway cards?
Gotcha.
And the tag.
Gotcha.
Right.
All right.
$200 approximate in the pot. right? 215 in the middle. And a flop comes up, and
I hit top pair.
you hit top pair, right?
With a no flush draw.
Yeah, no flush draw or anything like that, and your kicker isn't that great.
Yeah, exactly.
But now you kind of want to see what happens. Look, you check.
I check. Yeah, tag check.
Tag checking can be one of two things, right? So it's either he totally bricked, he didn't connect, like he's also got Broadway cards,
Right.
or he's check raising like a set.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
The tag player, if he had something like Pocket Jackson was playing it slow, leads out here.
He's not going to check call anything if he's got a set. He's going to check raise.
More often than not, he's leading out with jacks
Gotcha.
and overpair. If he's got tens or jacks, he's leading out. Queens, he's re-raising pre-flop.
Okay.
So you know queens, kings, aces with that, 15 raised to 50. You call 50, comes to him. Queens, kings, aces. He's isolating. He's re-raising it pre-flop because
For sure.
he wants to find out who's serious, who's not.
That
and there's
makes
money
sense.
in the pot. So
Okay.
jacks or tens, I can see him just flatting the 50 because he's scared of overcards coming on the flop.
Okay.
So just flatting the 50 from the big blind, those two hands are possibilities. But since you checked and he checked, that you rule out jack, pocket jacks, and pocket tens.
You rule out high pocket pairs for him
Well, just
at the
those
moment.
two, because queens, kings, aces, he would have re-raised pre-flops.
Oh,
We
yeah,
know he
of
doesn't
course.
have those.
Gotcha. So those are already off.
So now jacks and tens are off.
Okay.
Jacks and tens are off the table too, because I think he would have let out because there's no scare cards.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. So now it comes around to the maniac who can have fucking anything.
And he bets 90.
Yeah, he could have flopped the nuts with 7-8
Right.
offsuit, and
Right.
you just don't know, right? Or he could have a flush draw, or he could have two pair, whatever. So there's
'Cause he's playing in
you
two
don't
cards
know,
like that.
and he's
Right.
betting out, so that's something to take into consideration. So
Yeah.
we have folded ace king suited, which obviously tells you, well, he didn't have kings or aces or queens.
That's right.
So moot point. So now
Exactly.
back to you. Now you've got a hand where you kind of have to, based upon your stack size, determine what you want to do, right?
Right.
You got $630. He's sitting with, at this point, looks like
234.
not that much more. So you know, if you just flat right here and turn card doesn't improve you, or maybe it's a scare card and you check, chances are he's going all in.
Right.
So you have to come to the determination of like, does he have me beat or doesn't he right here? He could have a flush draw as well. The question is, how do you want to go forward with this hand? You could lay it down and move on, which, is an option.
It wouldn't be like a terrible
No,
mistake.
it wouldn't be a terrible fold because, he can have anything.
Gotcha.
So that's part of and your hand is really not that strong.
It's not.
That you may want to risk $350 on it.
Right. Well, let's see if I call. So I give it a little thought here. And I'm not sure, obviously.
Now, keep in mind some of your hand mannerisms too, right? This is something that I think just amateur players really don't take into consideration. Like rechecking hole cards 3-4 times. Like, you know what your hole cards are.
I know.
They haven't changed.
No.
Tapping your cards and doing these like nervous tick-like things.
Doesn't show strength. It displays
Number one, it
weakness.
doesn't show strength. But I mean, on top of that, like really good players will look at patterns of what you do with your hands and when you touch your chips and whether or not you fold hands when you do that action, or whether you end up raising or whatever. Yeah, and this is part of that conversation too, is like, if I call here, when the turn card comes out, it's a spade. You could even say it's a 7 of spades. What do you do?
Exactly.
It's an 8 of spades.
Yeah,
what do
man,
I do? What if
there's-
it's a king? What if it's an ace? Then what do I do? Am I going to
you're
call
right.
the 90
You're
and then
right.
put them all in on the turn and then get snap called by him because it's a horrible card? Or am I going to end up checking that turn card? He's going to jam and then I'm going to fold because what are the odds that I'm actually ahead?
Folded it.
So I don't hate the fold there.
Okay.
Just because there's
I could be beat so many ways.
in so many different ways, and that's part
And
of
the hand could cost me another couple $100 on the next street, and then I fold.
Yes. You call the turn card something that you don't want to see. He jams, and now you just gave up $90 more, and that's part of the problem with calling that type of hand from that position.
Gotcha.
Is you don't have the option to see what they do before you.
Right, exactly.
You're forced to check, and then they can sense that it potentially is weakness and exploit it and bet. And now you're in a position where if you call it, you're still the first to act again.
Right.
And you have to check.
And then do it all over again.
And if you're on the button, it's so much better. If you're on the cutoff, you're in the late section of
last to act or whatever.
a couple spots before the, right before the button. It's good because you get to see what the other players that are still in the hand will do. So, part of the problem. Now, if you flop gin with 9-10 suited, it's great. But like this is one of those like I don't know what to do.
Right.
Like I've got top pair, but
suits are off.
Kicker's not good. Yeah, I don't have the flush draw and multiple other players that are involved, and the scariest player is the one who could have any. Now, you could have taken a bolder approach to, lead out for like $60 because you flop top pair. That's also not a bad option. And you find out if the tag player to your left had pocket tens or pocket jacks, because they're probably going to raise you. And since we know then they were going to fold, now it comes down to, is the maniac going to do something crazy there? Are they going to call you?
Right.
Or are they going to raise you? And you can find out right there for $60 rather than
go to
check call 90.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I don't mind the check just because you're first and there are three other players behind you.
Gotcha.
So
okay. Yeah, exactly. And
just keep in mind, like, you could be dusting that $60 off into the wind.
100%. But it's almost in that position. You make a good point there. Let's say everybody bet with air and everybody just folds on the 60. I mean, that's a possibility.
All right.
So next hand. Okay,
you're on the button, small pocket pair, pocket threes.
Okay.
Let's kind of see how the action rolls out.
Let's see the maniac. All right, so.
Okay, so we got maniac again.
Raises the 12.
Raising to $12.
Whale calls with 10-7 suited.
He's got Broadway cards, King 10 off. Like, he's going to be doing that with that kind of hand every single time.
Nit's not playing anything.
Whale, like I said, likes to call everything just to see how they connect with, semi-suited connectors, 10-7. And it's a double gapper. The tag player, 9-8 of clubs, definitely going to call the 12. You call the 12 on the button, which I like. I don't like re-raising on the button with small pockets. Personally,
I think it was a little too much.
More set mining. Plus, you got the best position, so you can kind of, see what everybody else is doing before you get to the flop. It's a safer approach because last thing, if you do get re-raised, then you just gotta ditch the threes.
Yep.
So set mine from the last position. Flop comes up, Queen 10-6 rainbow. Now, obviously not good for your hand.
No.
But you got the tag player in here. Now, tight aggressive, seeing this and seeing that he's got a double gut shot, straight draw, right? Double inside. So you can hit a jack or 7 to make the straight, and also has an option for backdoor clubs too, which is good, would be super deceptive. So I like leading out there. I could also see the tag player check calling. But it looks a little weaker if you're check calling.
Gotcha.
I like leading out or check raising.
Gotcha.
With that combo draw.
Okay.
So it's action's on you.
Action's
30 to call
me.
on the button.
Do I call? I think I fold this actually.
You fold.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna get rid of
Which
that.
is okay.
That's fine.
That's good. It's funny. I think the river comes with 3, but I'm not chasing that
because the tag player let out. Like, that is gonna tell you more. Like, he's connected there, and last thing you want to do is float with a small pocket and hope to hit that miracle 3.
Right.
2 outs. It's not a lot. So now tag connected even more so, right? So now he's got a pair with a double inside straight draw. So in theory, if you've got the maniac that's just got a 10 or just a queen, hitting a 9 or an 8 is also an option, along with a jack or 7.
Right.
So his outs have expanded.
Right. River comes with 3.
So there was a bet on the turn
for 75 from the tag.
Yeah, and maniac called again, which could have been any combination of, like, it could have been queen jack, it could have been queen 8, it could have been 10-8, Could have been, Jack 10. Like, there's nothing really giving off strength vibes, but he's playing position as well.
Gotcha.
So the river card comes, and it is your 3, which is funny enough.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But I ain't chasing that. I'm not chasing that.
Hindsight's always 20/20.
I know, yeah.
But regardless, tag player Logan, he's in a position where it's like he didn't really improve, and the maniac's probably going to call him with any 10 or any queen. So he can really just be hoping that he bluffed.
Right.
That's the best thing, is that he's calling with a bluff catcher with just a pair of 9s.
Right.
So, and unfortunately, they're just going to end up surrendering, because the maniac will call with anything. He could even maybe call with a 6, just because he just doesn't believe him.
Right.
But I think the safer approach is just to check fold, surrender.
Gotcha.
Better that way.
Okay. Let's move to the next hand. So the next hand, I am on the cutoff, and with jacks, with pocket jiggities, as Brad always would say.
Always a tricky hand, playing jacks.
Yep.
I think it's a love-hate relationship a lot of players have with them. Because they're vulnerable. So it looks like we got a couple of limpers.
Yep. Fish and Nit both limped. I raised the 16.
Nit limping should be semi-red flag, because
he just folds
they never
everything.
play anything, like not even for $2. If they're in there for $2, chances are they have something.
Okay.
So it could be trappy.
So that should be.
It could be trappy. Like if you're throwing out 16 and Nit comes back around and makes it 75, you just got to be prepared to just fold.
Gotcha.
In my opinion, no action for Nits.
No action for Nits.
Just let him get no money for his kings or aces. Fuck him. Let him. Yeah, enjoy my $16. Sit around, wait another 45 minutes to an hour for a premium.
Another premium hand,
and I'll fold to you in that sense, and I'll table pocket queens and put them into the muck, because I don't want to give you any money if that's all you're gonna do is sit there and play 1 out of 70 hands. So, so with that limp, I like the raise, because your bet sizing is good. 16, I like it. $8, $10, too cheap. You get 5 callers. In 16, you're isolating down more than likely to maybe just a couple of callers, with going 8x with a limper.
Again, with jacks, I just don't want that many callers.
Want 1 or 2 callers,
Yeah.
and you got to be prepared, obviously, to potentially fold them too if it flop comes up king queen this, or ace queen that, and then and it's okay. It's okay. It's tricky. The best scenario you want is a low board or to spike a set.
Yep.
Hit a jack on the flop. So
all right,
16.
Fish calls with queen 10 suited.
Fish, those are the best cards Fish has seen in a while. It's going to call with that. And you notice the Nit folded. So, just goes to show.
Oh, nice. I spike a set. But
still pretty wet board, though.
Yes, very.
Right? Straight and flush draws out there. Fish bets 10. Fish bets 10 into $50. So, I mean, that's prime...
I call.
Like amateur betting, like they just have no idea on bet sizing, on how much they should bet, when they should bet. So you just called the $10. Mm-hmm. I like that because, if you raise and get re-raised, and because he could have flopped a straight.
Yeah.
Right?
10,
or if
king 10, yeah.
Or if you raised and a diamond comes, you raised and Fish calls and then a diamond turns, then you're in a fucking really tough spot.
Right.
You're just like, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? So I like just waiting for a non-scary card to come.
Okay.
It depends on how much you want to commit to the hand. So, I mean, if you raise and he ends up calling the turn card, like how bad do you want to chase down your set to see if you pair the board, to try to hit a full house? So, so just calling 10, no, I could see it both ways, but I like the $10. I like just the call. Let's see what turn brings. It brings your nightmare.
Oh my
the diamond
God.
and
the straight, yeah.
And the straight get there, and obviously the Fish got there.
Yeah.
And he's betting just the minimum. I think maybe mildly afraid of the flush, but also made the straight. Now, action
I'm obviously going to raise here because the bet was so small. I feel that's weakness.
Now notice how quick the snap call is.
Yeah.
From the Fish. Called so quick,
so
which
fast.
Means he's either got the flush.
Oh, and the 9 got there to give you the full house.
But
barely.
the snap call of the $45 raise should instantly tell you, like,
He's got me beat.
he's already got the flush.
Yeah. Or the straight.
Or the straight.
Right.
And you absolutely need to pair the board.
Yes.
So as soon as he does that, you're crossing fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and you did.
Yeah.
The question comes down to, like, what would you do if you didn't pair the board? And he bets out $40 or something. Small amount, right? Because at that point, yeah,
am I good enough to fold that? I don't think I am.
There's $50 in the pot. He bet 10, you called 10. That was flop. So now it's 70.
And then he snaps me off on my raise.
And then he bets 15, you make it 45. He calls, so that's 90 in the 70, so 160 in there. And he bets $50 in a 160. Are you going to fold?
I don't know, man. Like, for me, like, it's hard to lay down a set like that. But, I mean, in a scenario like that, like,
making tough laydowns, is going to be, it's part of this game. And if you can't do that, then it's just going to lead to, being a losing player long run.
Losses, yeah.
Long run. I mean, I saw a player a couple of nights ago at a game that called somebody off on the river with queen high for $90.
With queen high.
It was so mad that they just were not winning any hands that they just put in $90 on the river, had queen 8, no straight, no pair, no nothing, and just put $90 in the middle of the pot.
Wow.
So, like, there's not a lot of logical thought process that's going in the head of very beginner fish type players. All right, next hand.
All right, next hand indeed. Preston.
Hijack spot. I like if there's just a couple of limpers or anything like that. I like raising it from that position. It looks less suspicious than if you're doing it on the button. You're trying to essentially buy the button by raising there and getting those final two players after you to fold. So now in theory you are the button, right? So you raise to 10 and you got 2 callers, Maniac and the Whale. This is a common theme you'll see a lot of the time, is the people with money that aren't afraid to put money in will be playing. So Maniac checks, ace 3, Jack 8, and Whale leads out with bottom pair, which it's a feeler bet, thinking that you raised up some kind of Broadway card. So he's like, I connected. I don't have any spades, but maybe a 3 is good. So, and saw the Maniac check, which showed weakness. At the Maniac bet, obviously the Whale's folding.
Gotcha.
So since he checked, he thought maybe I can take this pot down, buy it real quick.
Right.
So, and bets 15.
Let's see.
At this point, you raise to 50 or 75?
100.
Yeah, I don't mind the raise, because obviously I know you're a little worried on whether or not another spade comes. That's always the fear, is like, I'm just trying to win it now before that spade comes.
Yeah. I tend to do that when I feel like there's way too many cards in the deck that could downgrade my hand, on the turn or the river. I tend to go, well, I'm best now, but there's way too much out there that could come that completely downgrades me.
Think about statistically what that is. So 3 spades on the flop, 2 in your hand, right? So that's 5 cards. That's 5 spades out of 13. So there's eight spades left, right? Now, if either one of them has a single spade in their hand, big spade, we'll call it queen, king, whatever. Okay, so that means there's 7 spades left, right? Now, from the flop only, the odds of that spade coming on the turn, right? So you're using the rule of 4 and 2.
Okay.
That means there's 4. You multiply how many outs are left times 4 on the flop. So if there's 7 spades, because he's chasing 1, 7 times 4. You need the math on that. 28. It's 28%.
Interesting.
28% chance of that spade coming on the turn. And if it doesn't come on the turn, you cut that in half again.
14 for
That's
the river.
14%.
Interesting.
So you're 75% favorite if they just have that one spade chasing.
Huh.
Now, the likelihood that, there's so many other hand combinations that they can have that maybe they don't have a spade.
Right.
I don't mind the raise. Maybe it was a little aggressive.
Okay.
Just because you were just trying to take it down.
Right.
And who knows what they had. It could have been they just had top pair, top kicker.
But you would have gone a little lower.
So I think he bet 20. You made it 100.
Yeah.
I would have been okay with like 60 or 70.
Like 3 times the raise,
yeah,
3.5.
60 or 70. That's fine. Because like I also want to get paid too.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not trying to win $40 at a time.
Right.
Just by like taking it down on the flop. Right. I'm trying to build some pots too. How often is it you flop a flush?
Right. Yeah. You're
not
right.
that often.
Okay. So after this. After this first session that we've done here, what player type would you call me? Would I be fish?
No, I don't. You're not in the fish category. I'm thinking you're kind of a lag player.
I thought so too.
You know, but even the lag players looking for some better spots. There's a few things that are a little bit dynamically different, but you're kind of in that tag lag zone.
Okay.
You just got to find out where that is because you want to be adaptable. And I think lag players are pretty adaptable.